Section 3. Container Platform CI/CD, Deploying Pipeline. In Section 3, we will learn about how to build the Container Platform CI/CD pipeline and how to utilize the core functions by accessing to the pipeline service. Part 1. Pipeline Service Installation. With the proliferation of cloud technologies, continuous integration and deployment has become essential to quickly respond to rapidly changing user needs. In Section 3, you'll learn how to build and utilize this pipeline service, but first, let's understand what a pipeline is. The dictionary meaning of a pipeline is something that lists multiple processes, such as a production line, and enables process-specific processes at the same time. In IT, it refers to a hardware technique designed to parallelize a few specialized tasks while executing instructions to make a system more efficient. More specifically, being pipeline means that cell recognizes a vertical line separating the file names where each process is stored, and that the output of the file to the left of the line is connected to the input of the file to the right. The deployment pipeline is one of the key elements of CD, or continuous delivery. The idea is to automate the process of building source compiles and binaries, running non-automatable tests, and finally deploying to production. This allows you to get quick feedback when building automated build and test environments. The separation of steps increases execution time, and step-by-step verification increases confidence. Each step can be run automatically or manually depending on your settings, and can be executed on multiple servers simultaneously to speed up build time. The picture on the textbook is the system configuration of pipeline service. Let's check the prerequisites for pipeline service installation. There are 3 infrastructures used by the container platform pipeline. You need to install the key clock server, which is an authentication server, MariaDB, which is a database, and Harbor, which is a repository server when you deploy the container platform portal. Next, we will describe the cluster environment. Deploying a container platform requires images of SonarQube, PostgreSQL, etc. to be downloaded from a public network, so they must be installed in an environment with external network communication. For the cluster environment where you will install the pipeline, we recommend a minimum of 4 GB of free memory for the cluster in total. In the table at the bottom of the book, you can see the amount of resources used in the idle state when the container platform pipeline installation is complete. And when the container platform pipeline installation is complete, the persistent volume usage resource is about 28 GB, as shown in the table. Therefore, 28 GB of free NFS storage is recommended for the cluster environment where the container platform pipeline will be installed. Once you've finished setting up your environment for the pipeline installation, download the deployment file and place it in the path. This step must be done on the Kubernetes master node. First, create a path to download the deployment file inside the workspace folder. Create and enter the container-platform folder. Download the deployment file to that folder and verify the file path. Once the download is complete, unzip the deployment file. The deployment files directory is composed with the following components. The scripts folder contains variables and script files related to deploying the container platform pipeline. The images folder contains pipeline image files. The charts folder contains the pipeline's Helm chart file. Values org folder contains the pipeline's Helm charts values YARM files. Next is the procedure for defining pipeline variables. Before you deploy the container platform pipeline service, you need to define the variable values. To do this, you need to set the variables by checking the information required for the deployment. Proceed to the following path. Workspace Container Platform CP Pipeline Deployment Script. Then edit CP Pipeline vars shell file. After entering the screen to edit the shell file, enter the Kubernetes master node IP, host cluster as type, and provider type as shown in the textbook. For the provider type, enter standalone, which means a standalone deployment, since our textbook is based on a standalone deployment. The default deployment method for key clock is HTTP. If you want to set up HTTPS with an authentication certificate here, you need to modify the content below in the Container Platform Pipeline Variables file. Open the CP Pipeline vars shell file through VI Editor and modify it. Change the key clock URL value from HTTP to HTTPS. If you're using nip.io as your domain, change it to the following. The steps to run the Container Platform Pipeline deployment script and verify that the pipeline-related resources are deployed successfully. First, run the script to deploy the pipeline. Once the deployment is complete, verify that the pipeline-related resources are deployed successfully. Use the kubectl getAll command to check the normal deployment of each resource. For pods, it may take a few seconds to bind to a node, create a container, and transition to a running state. The screen shown on the textbook is an example screen of resource lookup screen. If you want to delete a deployed Container Platform Pipeline resource in the future, execute the command below to delete it. First, view the deployed resources, and then proceed to delete. After entering the uninstall command, enter Y to confirm the deletion. You can see the resource being deleted as shown at the bottom of the textbook. Part 2. Pipeline Installation Demonstration. Let's look at the installation process we've been through so far as a video. Part 3. Pipeline Service Access. Part 3 shows the process on accessing the pipeline you built. The Container Platform Pipeline can be accessed with the address in the textbook. The master node IP value in the curly braces is the Kubernetes master node public IP value. The pipeline account has an admin account and a user account like the portal. And I'll explain how to log into each. First, how to log into the administrator account. You can check the initial information of the administrator account through the commands in the textbook. After checking the information, you can log in by entering your ID and password on the initial screen. Next is instruction on how to log in with a user account. For a user account, you'll need to sign up first. Access to key clock through the URI in the textbook. Next, go to the admin page called Administration Console and log in with the administrator account that we looked at before. Click Users from the menu on the left. Then proceed to User Adding menu by clicking the Add User button. Input user information. The username. Turn the email verified switch to on, then click Save. Proceed to the Credentials tab, then set the password by inputting password and password confirmation compartment. At this point, if the password is not a temporary password, turn the temporary switch into off. Now access to the pipeline URI, then log in with the registered user account. Part 4. Pipeline Service Utilization. On Part 4, we will learn how to utilize the pipeline service deployed on Container Platform. The Container Platform Pipeline Service has 5 menus: User Management, Pipeline, Pipeline Management, Quality Management, and Staging Management, as shown in the table in the textbook. In the User Management menu, you can inquire and manage information about users using Container Platform Pipeline through the user dashboard. In the Pipeline menu, you can manage features such as pipeline registration, list and detailed inquiry, deletion, and participant permissions through the pipeline dashboard. Third, the Pipeline Management menu contains the Kubernetes Information Management page, which manages Kubernetes cluster connection information, and the Job Audit Trail page, which tracks the execution status of jobs performed in the Container Platform deployment pipeline. Next, the Management Quality menu allows you to manage quality issues, coding rules, quality profiles, and quality gates. Finally, the Manage Staging menu utilizes the Manage Configuration page to manage configuration information for your deployed application. For more information on how to utilize the pipeline service, please refer to the GitHub guide in the textbook. This concludes Section 3, Container Platform CI/CD Deploying Pipeline. In the next section, we'll learn about Container Platform CI/CD Deploying Source Control. Good job, everyone!